Grayson Chrisley has revealed the one thing he refuses to show on television. This means a lot to him. And as much as producers tried to get him to show it, he refused. Grayson learned that he had to put his foot down, or it was not going to go how he wanted it to. However, fans understand and are proud of him for standing up for it. There is a lot to unfold and uncover. Keep reading to find out more about this situation. Savannah Chrisley called out her brother, Chase Chrisley, on their new show, The Chrisleys. Back to reality. Savannah had to take over raising Grayson and Chloe when their parents were arrested. However, Savannah claimed that Chase did not show up for them or help her at all. Fans saw Grayson and Chase going to hit some golf balls. However, Grayson sided with his sister and called Chase out on a lot of things he had done wrong. Grayson even encouraged his brother to go to therapy, which fans thought was good. However, Chase felt as though Grayson was just agreeing with whatever Savannah had to say. Grayson Chrisley has been vulnerable on the Chrisleys. Back to reality. However, there was one thing he would not show on television. Julie gave him a stuffed bear with a voice message inside. However, he did not want people to hear what it said. Julie heard about this and revealed that she was proud of Grayson for setting those boundaries. This was something he did not want to be shown, and he put his foot down to make it stay that way. It seems as though the stuffed bear with Julie's voice message in it is something he does not want everyone to see. He felt as though he had given the world and television everything. So he wanted to keep something close to his heart private. Fans did not blame him for not wanting it shown on television. However, he has been vulnerable about everything else that is going on. What do you think about this? Do you think he should have kept it private? Sound off in the comments below. We would love to hear your thoughts on this situation. Grayson Chrisley grew up under the brightest of spotlights. As the youngest of the Chrisley family, his childhood and teenage years unfolded on national television for millions of viewers to dissect, celebrate, and judge. Fans watched him transform from a playful boy into a young man navigating fame, expectations, and the personal struggles that come with living inside a reality series. Yet for all the openness, all the staged arguments, comedic family banter, and carefully revealed vulnerabilities, there has always been one part of Grayson's life that he guards fiercely, something he refuses to share with the cameras, no matter how much pressure surrounds him. This refusal is not born from rebellion, but from a deep understanding of identity and self-protection. Growing up on reality TV may have taught him one undeniable lesson. The more you give, the less of yourself remains. For Grayson, that sacred, untouchable space lies in his private emotional life. The raw, unfiltered core of his deepest struggles, the moments when the mask drops and the pain shows through. Growing up under constant watch, Grayson never had the luxury of anonymity. From an early age, his laughter, mischief, and even mistakes were woven into scripted arcs for public consumption. Fans saw him teased by siblings, lectured by his father, and coddled by his mother. They saw his first jobs, his early sporting achievements, and his struggles with the pressures of adolescence. On screen, it seemed almost every detail was exposed, but television has a way of blending reality with performance. Even as a child, Grayson instinctively knew the difference between what the audience was allowed to see and what had to be hidden. There were days when the cameras caught his smile, but not the anxiety behind it. There were scenes filled with family banter that ignored the quiet tension afterward. That split between public persona and private self hardened into a rule he set for himself as he matured. Not everything deserved to be shown. The emotional core he protects. Every reality star learns to develop armor. For Grayson, the armor has always been about control, deciding what moments remain private. Viewers may witness arguments, heartbreak, or celebratory milestones, but they will never see the raw aftermath of his personal grief. The single thing he refuses to show on TV is the true depth of his vulnerability, the emotional unraveling that comes after moments of chaos. When his family faced legal troubles, public scrutiny became suffocating. Social media amplified every rumor, and the cameras hovered as if waiting for tears. Yet Grayson resisted, keeping his private breakdowns behind closed doors. While others in the family occasionally opened their wounds to the audience, hoping to frame their stories, he clung to his decision. His pain would not become content. This resistance is not a lack of authenticity. It is a survival strategy. In the edited world of reality television, vulnerability often morphs into entertainment. Grayson recognizes that once broadcast, his most fragile moments are no longer his own. They belong to the audience, to the producers, to the critics dissecting his life from a distance. Protecting that space means retaining the right to heal in private, without turning suffering into spectacle. The cost of saying nor refusing to show one aspect of his life carries a price. Reality TV thrives on exposure, and producers often press cast members to share more, to be raw and open. By holding back, Grayson risks being misunderstood, painted as distant, aloof, or unwilling to engage. Fans sometimes question why he seems guarded compared to other family members. Yet he accepts that cost because the alternative is unbearable. The refusal also creates tension within the family narrative. Reality television often relies on portraying unity or shared conflict, but Grayson's boundaries break that mold. He cannot always be the open book that television expects. Still, those who truly observe him can see the maturity in his choice. At an age when many struggle to define themselves, he has drawn a line and refused to let fame erase it. A symbol of control in many ways, the one thing Grayson will not reveal has become symbolic. It is not just about hiding tears or refusing to let cameras into his quietest moments. It is about taking back ownership of his identity. For someone who grew up with very little say in how his image was crafted, this small act of defiance grants him agency. Audiences may believe they know the entirety of the Chrisley children's lives, but what Grayson conceals reminds them that reality television is never the full truth. He offers enough to connect with fans, but reserves a hidden core that belongs only to him. That core protects his humanity, ensuring that when the cameras fade, he is not left hollow or defined only by how viewers perceive him. The impact on fans, ironically, the very act of withholding has made him more relatable to many fans. In a world where oversharing is encouraged and emotional transparency is commodified, Grayson's silence speaks volumes. Many viewers, particularly younger fans, see in him a reminder that it is acceptable to set boundaries, even in the face of immense pressure. Social media often paints vulnerability as a currency, where likes and comments are earned through confession. Grayson's refusal pushes against that tide. He proves that strength can lie in privacy, that dignity can exist outside the endless cycle of exposure. His hidden struggles, though invisible, resonate because audiences instinctively understand that everyone carries pain unseen by the world. A future beyond reality TV's Grayson steps into adulthood. The boundaries he established may shape his future path. While his siblings often embrace public storytelling, he has hinted at pursuing ambitions outside the family brand. Whether in business, sports, or personal endeavors, his guarded nature could allow him to transition more smoothly into a life less dependent on cameras. The thing he refuses to show will remain a constant shield, a reminder of his resilience. Even if reality TV fades from his life, the lesson will endure. Not everything needs to be shared, and privacy is a form of power. In this way, his decision carries meaning beyond entertainment. It becomes a philosophy for living in an age where every moment is expected to be broadcast. The unseen story Grayson Chrisley's refusal to expose the rawest parts of his emotional life is more than an act of secrecy. It is a declaration of independence. behind every laugh, every staged scene, and every carefully edited storyline lies an untold narrative of survival, boundaries, and hidden strength. Reality TV thrives on access, but true humanity often dwells in the unseen. By guarding his most private moments, Grayson reminds us that the strongest stories are sometimes the ones we never witness. His unseen tears, untelevised breakdowns, and private battles remain his alone, untouched by the lens and preserved as part of the self he refuses to sacrifice. Conclusion: Grayson Chrisley's life has been shaped by the paradox of openness and secrecy. On one hand, he has given years of his childhood and adolescence to audiences worldwide. On the other, he has carved out an inviolable space, a sanctuary where cameras cannot intrude. The one thing he refuses to show, his deepest vulnerability, reveals not weakness, but profound wisdom. For fans, the mystery of what lies behind the curtain only strengthens his image. In refusing to let pain become entertainment, Grayson has built a legacy of quiet strength within a family defined by spectacle. His guarded silence tells its own powerful story. Sometimes the most courageous act is simply refusing to let the world watch you break.